Sony's PlayStation boss is a liar. Jim Ryan's a liar. That's it. And he's clearly playing the game. In my lifetime, I've never seen anything like this. This did happen earlier in the week, and I've not had a chance to talk about it. Indeed, I thought about just not addressing it at all, but I think it's time, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's time. He called it value-destructive Game Pass while on the stand during the FTC versus Microsoft case, and also said that publishers unanimously dislike it. That's Jim Ryan. He's the president of PlayStation. Let's actually get his quote. During his pre-recorded video deposition for the hearing between Microsoft versus FTC earlier today, Ryan claimed Xbox Game Pass was unprofitable, noting how he's, quote, talked to all the publishers and they, quote, unanimously do not like Game Pass because it is value destructive. Very, very interesting. I think what's got him in trouble there is the word unanimously, because ever since the inception of Game Pass, all you got to do is a quick Google and you will see lots of developers, big, small, and everywhere in between, complimenting and praising Game Pass, that they're able to reach audiences that they were never able to do before. So saying something so blatantly incorrect on stand, I think is what's getting him in trouble at the moment, and why the outrage. What's interesting is console wars have always been driven by fanboys. However, it's now being driven by the leaders themselves. This whole Activision Blizzard acquisition, Jim Ryan saying, oh, it's not a problem in internal emails. Then all of a sudden saying, oh, now it is a problem. I don't have a problem with Starfield being exclusive, but I do have a problem if Microsoft owns Call of Duty, which they will also put on PlayStation. It doesn't make any sense. It's all for business purposes. It's going to be interesting to see what happens going forward. Let's say Activision Blizzard does go through. Does Jim Ryan keep his job? I don't know. You just allowed your competitor to... It feels like, I'll be perfectly honest, how I feel, it feels like Sony got completely sideswiped by this. That they poo-pooed it, poo-poo, no big deal. Let Microsoft go do this crazy thing that they're doing. And then they went, oh shit. Oh my goodness, this is actually a thing. That's what it feels like. It feels like they got caught on their back heels, and they're the ones throwing up all the dust. Whether it's Valve with Steam, Nintendo, none of the other big publishers have an issue with this acquisition. It is Sony. It is Sony making the stink. It is Sony causing this headache by and large for the most part. It is Sony opposing it, in which they initially, by all accounts in internal emails, did not oppose it. I think they got caught off guard. I think they got caught flat-footed. But X1, I've heard game developers don't like it. Well, let's just do a quick Google search. First of all, this news article is from PureXbox.com. Make sure you go check them out. They're awesome on PureXbox.com. Dropping earlier this morning. Football Manager Dev. Right there, we have one. Football Manager Dev praises Xbox Game Pass. And what he has to say about it is every studio has to make decisions themselves. This is Miles Jacobson over at Football Manager. Every studio has to make decisions themselves, but I don't recognize some of the quotes that I see from other studios and depositions. I don't recognize that in our business. It's all been very sunny for us, he says. He feels bringing Football Manager to Xbox Game Pass makes sense fiscally and creatively, pointing out that there's, quote, no way we would have reached 5 million players on Football Manager 23 without the audience from those platforms, referring to Apple Arcade and Game Pass. And he's right. Game Pass gives me, as the player, the opportunity to check out games I otherwise wouldn't check out because it's a no-risk proposition for me. It gives a developer the opportunity to get exposure they otherwise wouldn't get, particularly small developers, because of that no-risk trial that I have as a player subscribed to Game Pass. It's a genius business model. Again, I think Sony and Jim Ryan got caught on their heels on this. I think they're flat-footed, and I think that's what these depositions, these trial hearings are showing, that they're flat-footed. Here's another one. This is earlier in the year. Ravenlook developers share thoughts on Xbox Game Pass following the game's launch, and we'll just say that the studio praised Xbox Game Pass as being 100% worth it. 100% worth it. The service solving a big challenge for the team regarding visibility. There's another developer. Now, these are just quick Google searches of articles. There's pages of them. You could go to Twitter. Tweets are being launched on these from developers and publishers. We actually like Game Pass. And Indie devs criticize PlayStation, praises Xbox Game Pass. This one, actually, I believe we went over earlier as well on this channel. But there you go. So let's go back real quick. Jim Ryan, publishers unanimously do not like Xbox Game Pass. Very interesting. Let's take a look at Sega. We talked about Sega yesterday. Sega's putting a lot of their games on Game Pass. I wonder why that is. They're a major publisher. They don't like it, though. Unanimously. Jim Ryan and PlayStation, I think, are the biggest losers in all of this. It's not been a good look. Now, you're going to have PlayStation fanboys either just willfully ignoring this or say, no, Xbox is the one that's coming out looking bad. Well, ultimately, the FTC and the CMA look terrible because their case is so weak. It's apparent, one, they don't know what they're talking about, and two, there's some sort of ideological agenda tied to both of them. And that ideological agenda may be the lobbyist known as Sony. I don't know, but I think Sony has come out looking really bad on all of this. I really do. I don't think they have the leg to stand on. I think what it has exposed is their business practices, which I don't have a problem with their business practices. That's competition. That's business. You got to do what you got to do. But for them to be calling out Microsoft on being fearful of, Microsoft keeping Call of Duty exclusive and trying to hurt us with DLC and stuff. A little bit of projection, don't you think, Sony? A little bit of projection, Jim Ryan. That's exactly what you do with your games and have been doing all along. That's why Microsoft bought Bethesda, we learned throughout this entire process, because PlayStation was going to go make Starfield exclusive. Projection, it's not a good thing. I really do think, when you look at this, though, it's not like their case is well thought out at all. At all. When you lose the game, you either blame the refs or you go to the refs, or you're losing, you go to the refs and ask calls to go your way. That's exactly what Sony is doing here. Jim Ryan made himself look foolish. That's a foolish statement. Jim Ryan, you're full of shit. That's the end. The end of this video. Jim Ryan's full of shit. Take it. Run with it. That's the title. I'm sorry, but it's true. At least come up with a better sentence. Come up with a better strategy than that. I'd love to know what you think, though. Am I overstating it? Do you think PlayStation got caught on their heels on this? Do you think the FTC got caught on their heels on this? I'd love to know what you think. Let me know in the comments below. Hit that like button, subscribe to this channel. My name is X1 the Gamer. We drop Xbox videos here all the time. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.